This
from
conference
SAP.
will now be recorded.
And we also discussed about landscape, servers, and what is clients, and this all things yesterday we have discussed. So today we'll start discussion with, as a consultant, what is your role in the greenfield implementation project? That is in the new implementation project. We'll be starting the discussion. Can you please mute everyone? Sam,
Yeah.
can you please mute? So I muted everyone. So if any question, you please unmute and you can ask me. Yeah. So as a consultant, what is your role in the new greenfield implementation project? So what is new greenfield implementation project? And again, role. When I say role and responsibility, what is the hierarchy of consulting we have in the SAP? So what is greenfield implementation? See, SAP projects generally it used to be like this. One is a new implementation. That means from scratch we are implementing SAP in an organization. That is a new implementation. And next is support project. SAP needs 24/7 support because your complete organization is running on SAP. So you go to a bank either to deposit money or to withdraw the cash. If they say that the servers are down, then what's technically happening? They are losing business, right? So the downtime of servers will cost the company. So it needs to have 24/7 support. So once the project is implemented, then it need to be provided the support. Then after we have projects called as rollout. Again, under the rollout, there are two kinds of rollouts. One is called as company code rollout and one is called as plant rollout. So new implementation, let's take an example of Sony Japan. So Sony wants to run on SAP, and for the first time, Sony Japan has implemented SAP in its base location, that is Japan. And for this, you need a complete 24/7 support that you handle as a support or maintenance project. Rollout project means company code rollout. First is company code rollout. Company code rollout means, so Sony Japan now intend to run its business in other countries, in other geographical location also on SAP. That's called as rollout. That means Sony India, Sony US, Sony UK, every location of Sony, which is it's operating in other countries also, they want to run on SAP. That's called as company code rollout. Plant rollout. Plant rollout. That means introducing a new plant into the business itself is considered as starting a new business. Because, see, I hope you might be knowing how Tata has struggled to set up their plant in West Bengal. Anyone you remember? Can you recall? Nano
Yes,
plant,
yes, yes.
right?
Yeah.
So Tata, ultimately it has failed even. So they are not success. So introducing a plant into a business is almost starting a new business. You have that many hiccups in commissioning a new plant. So that's the reason introducing a plant into a business is also considered as a separate project, and we call it the rollout project because it has a lots of integrations between various modules. And the last comes is the upgrade project. Upgrade means, so upgrading your customer from ECC 4 or 5 to ECC 6, the latest version. This is considered as upgrade project. See, up, upgrading from one version to other version, that is ECC 4 to ECC 6 is called as upgrade project. But from ECC to S4 HANA is not called as upgrade project. It's called as migration project. So there is a small difference here. Upgrade project means you are just upgrading from one version to other version. But ECC to S4 HANA is called as either conversion project or migration project. Why? Because S4 HANA is a separate, completely different offering, new innovation. So it's not considering as upgrading from one version to other version. It's altogether a new project, right? And you also have some testing projects, and in the companies you have different projects in-house, right? So any SAP project should fall under this category. It can be a new implementation, it can be a support, it can be a rollout, or it can be upgradation, or it can be testing. In broadly, any SAP project should fall into this category. So today we are discussing about new implementation. That means if a company wants to go for SAP, So what are the activities to be performed, what documents to prepare, and as a consultant, what is your role, and what levels of consulting we have. So everything we would be discussing today. So coming to the hierarchy, in the industry, we have first downline is shadow consultants, and then next is called as junior consultants or associates, and then next is SD consultant or any module. If it is SAP FI consultant, FI consultant, we are SAP SD consultants. And we have senior SD consultant. Then from here onwards, the level changes. So who is shadow consultant? Shadow consultants are campus freshers. Companies hire people from campuses, right? So they are shadow consultants. They don't belong to any project. So companies will directly pay them. That means if IBM has hired these people and they are working for a client, let's say Apple, they are not on the payroll of Apple. IBM directly pay them, and they don't belong to any module. So today they might be working on SD. Tomorrow company may ask them to work on Basis. Day after tomorrow on F5. So they do, they are like just supporting. That's it. They don't belong to any project or any module specifically. They are shadow consultants. That can be from 0 to 2 years, right? And again, same 0 to 3 years are called as juniors or associate consultants. Junior consultant or associate consultants. And 3 to 6 years, you are called as SAP SD consultants. And from 6 to 10 years, you are called as SAP senior SD consultants. About 10 years, you can be architect, you can be analyst, you can be specialist, it can be anything, right? This is the hierarchy in consulting what we have. So when I say roles and responsibilities, it all depends upon which category you belong to. Whether you are an associate, your roles will be different, your responsibilities will be different. If you are a senior consultant, your roles and responsibilities will be different, right? This training, we are focusing at this level, right? Our training is focused at this level, 4 to 6 years of experience. Technically, I'm putting a benchmark with dot at 4 to 5 years experience, but you can scale this level of knowledge to even 15 years. Whatever the knowledge you would be gaining in these 2 months, it's equivalent to even a 15 years of architect level. That's the level of knowledge we would be discussing. But I want to put a dot at 5 years. I don't want to exaggerate whatever we are discussing. The knowledge wise, you'll be learning everything, but I recommend you to go with only 4 years of experience. So why? I'll tell you in the coming sessions. So please mind, I have some limitations talking in this session because it is still a open session. I haven't taken confirmations from everyone who will be continuing this batch. So once you pay the fees, you are continuing in this batch, I can talk about and I can share more knowledge. But I have still limitations in the first 3 sessions to talk because it's on a recorded session. I don't know who was attending, right? So whatever I was discussing, that thing I will little elaborate later in the sessions once you confirm and continue the sessions. Okay. So why I'm putting a dot at 4 years technically, that I will be telling you later, right? Yeah, so this is the hierarchy and this is the roles and responsibilities. As I told you, our training will focus at this level. Okay, whether you are already a 15 years like regional manager or you are just a fresher passed out from MBA, doesn't matters, right? It's everything at this level of experience you would be learning the knowledge. Why? Because in the industry gives an opportunity, a window to enter that is at this level. This is a window which you can enter into the industry, right? Yeah, so roles and responsibilities of a consultant in the implementation project, that is greenfield implementation. What is greenfield implementation? From scratch, day one. That's the reason even in the interviews also they ask this question, have you been part of any greenfield implementation? Why they are asking question, have you been part of any greenfield implementation? Because they want to know what all activities you performed and what level of knowledge you have in a project. That's the reason they put this question for sure in the interviews. That is, so have you been part of any greenfield implementation? So what would be your answer? Anyone? Yes or no? And yeah, go ahead. Anyone?
Yes, sir. We are,
Yes, right?
yeah.
Yeah, obviously it is yes. And see, yes and no are very, very powerful answers. Okay. Because if you say yes, the immediate next question will be followed. Even though you say no, immediate next question will follow. If you say yes, they'll ask how it is. If you say no, also they'll tell why it is, right? So yes and no are very powerful answers. So you should use them very sparingly in the interviews. Okay, that comes by practice. I'll tell you how to do that, because as I told you yesterday, the success is not to have any question from our answer. That's the first success. And at the same time, you should use yes and no very sparingly in the interviews, because they are very, very powerful answers. If you say yes, they'll take you to the next level. If you say even no, also they'll take you to the next level, right? So, yeah, obviously we will be part of. Why? Because see, have you been part of any greenfield implementation? You will say yes. Then immediately they'll ask you, okay, from which phase? What documents you prepared? Did you face any issues? Right? So keep on coming the questions. Okay, but there is no option. You have to say yes. Okay. Then next, so let's take a model company throughout the training and discuss and whatever we are learning, like let's try to adapt it to that industry and that companies and learn it. We'll discuss about two industries, that is automobile and pharmaceuticals. So let us adapt all our learning to that industries and learn. I will give you different BBPs, that means BBP in the sense the blueprint documents of different projects, different industries, steel, cement, like this. You choose whatever you want. Okay, this learning should be as if you have done everything. So if you are working in telecommunications, please take a telecommunication project. If you are working in chemical project, you take a chemical project as a benchmark. Okay, it's not that you should go with only this, right? So Galaxy Pharmaceutical is the client. Again, the question I was asking in the last session, right? Where is your client located? This client is your customer. It can be Apple, it can be Microsoft, it can be Lenovo. This is your customer. This is not the part of server. So in the interview, you should be in a position to understand a question from which context they're asking that question, from which project they're asking that question. You should be that smart enough to find out and to get an idea of what they're asking. Because see, where is your client located? You would be confused whether they're asking about server or they're asking about the real customer, right? So which context they're asking first, you should find out, right? This client is your customer, right? The client name is Galaxy Pharmaceuticals. So Galaxy Pharmaceuticals is capable of implementing SAP. Why I'm using a word called as capable? Because implementing SAP is not that easy, because you need to spend at least 10% of your revenues on SAP per annum, so that then only you'll be able to run an SAP. SAP is a very, very expensive and costly affair. One implementation can be in Indian rupees some 30 to 70 crores. 30 to 70 crores, that expensive it is. Recently, we commissioned three servers for one very big pharma company in Hyderabad. Just three servers costed 12 crores. Each server is 4 crore. That expensive SAP is, right? So every company cannot implement SAP. When I say a company should be in a position to implement SAP, that company should be minimum 1,000 crore. Only 1,000 crore company can afford implementing and running on SAP. Or nowadays, SAP has come up with a different individual industry solution, so that it is made possible even for SMEs. Small, medium enterprises also now can implement SAP, but once time, SAP is only for very big companies, not for small companies, right? So Galaxy Pharmaceutical is capable of implementing SAP. So you can see they are here. There are different. This is your client, and you can see different companies here: IBM, Accenture, and Capgemini. Different consulting companies. They are called as implementation partners. They are implementation partners. So see, every business needs sales and marketing, right? It can be any business. It needs sales and marketing. Even your software companies also have sales team. They will get the projects to the company. So BDMs, business development managers, and pre-sales team are responsible to get projects for the software companies. And yeah, when you're choosing SAP, it's not just you have an option only for consulting job. Okay, you have various roles in SAP. You can be an analyst, you can be a specialist. If you are working in some industry for 15 years, let's say chemical industry or a process industry, you are working for 15 years. So companies will directly take you as a specialist because you are good enough in understanding the business processes and converting into the requirements into the process, right? And you have pre-sales. Pre-sales job is an excellent job in an SAP. A 4 years, 5 years person, experienced person will get a 20 to 25 lakh package. If you're in pre-sale, if you're in consulting, 4 years, 5 years experience, you will get hardly 10 to 12 lakhs. But a pre-sales person will get a 20 to 25 lakhs with 5-star facilities and traveling and everything. But you will have the same pressure convincing the customers, understanding the requirements and everything. So you can see different companies and different BDMs. So everyone approaching Galaxy Pharma to pitch in a sales call and explain what the company can do for them. You see all the BDMs approaching and pitching a sales call with your Galaxy Pharmaceutical. So finally, Galaxy Pharma is convinced because right, sales people, they tell everything, whatnot. So they'll tell about the competitors who are already running on SAP and taking the advantage. So what this company is losing without SAP. So everything. So they're convinced to go for SAP. But can I give a quotation immediately? Is it possible? No, I cannot give a quotation immediately because we don't know Galaxy Pharmaceuticals is operating in how many countries, right? Just excuse me. Yeah, sorry. So we don't know how many countries this Galaxy Pharma is operating. We don't know what materials they are manufacturing, what is their raw material, and we don't know how they do business, who are their customers, right? Without knowing these all things, we cannot give a quotation immediately. So what we do, we send pre-sales team to the customer to understand their business and draft a complete quotation, right? So let's assume that after all the discussion, Galaxy Pharma has given project to IBM. So who is our implementation partner for our discussion and throughout the training? Anyone?
IBM.
Right. So IBM is the implementation partner. And who is your client? Galaxy Pharmaceutical. So now you are an employee with which company? You are employee with which company?
IBM.
You are employee with IBM, right? So here a killer question comes when you go for interview. That is, see, you'll be putting some big names like this, IBM, Capgemini, TCS, and you'll go to interview, right? The moment they see your resume with this big name, the first question they'll ask is, okay, great IBM, you are a permanent employee or you are C2H employee? This one question is enough to decide your fate in the interview, right? So if you put any big name, first question would be the same. You are a permanent employee or you are a contract to hire employee. What would be your answer? Obviously, you're not a permanent employee, right?
Yes.
You are not a permanent employee. You are a contract C2H employee. Immediate next question comes, right? Immediate next question comes. That is, what is your payroll company? If IBM is not if you are not a permanent employee in IBM, you are in contract to hire, then what is your payroll company? Right? This is the second question. So you will be telling some XYZ consultancy is my payroll company. They'll not leave it at that point. Next question comes, why don't you mention your payroll company in resume? Why you mentioned IBM? Why you don't mention your payroll company in the IBM? Anyone? You have an answer for that?
But the implementation from IBM, that's why we mentioned.
Okay, will they be satisfied with that answer?
Actually, I mentioned my payroll company in my resume, and it is shortlisted also.
Okay. Yeah, that is one or two cases will happen, but what happens is this is the thing to find out whether you're real time or not. So why they ask this, why you don't mention your payroll company in this thing, you can tell simple. See, I was part with IBM since 2 years and I was working for a good project. So I thought to showcase my knowledge and everything experience with IBM because that's where I'm working since 2 years, right? So for every question you'll have an answer, but how you manage that's more important, right? So if you see the drawback, if you mention the payroll company in the resume is sometimes you will be eliminated even in the like first initial process itself. First, a recruiter will call you, right? So
Yes.
when recruiter calls you and they'll ask you with spelling, they'll ask you to spell the consultancy name, because in industry, right, with changing one letter, they create companies. So they'll ask you to spell the company name. Right the moment they'll check, and they'll check whether this company is in blacklist or not. If it is in blacklist, they just hang up the phone. If it's not blacklist, then they take further with some questions to find out what is your experience, whether you're comfortable under what is your notice period and everything, and then they schedule an interview. Even recruiters will not waste their time, and they are trained to figure out whether you're real time or
Praveen,
fake. Yeah.
Praveen, one question.
Yeah.
How can they analyze that it is a block list company? Like it is
Yeah.
looking for MCA or anything else?
Not only MCA, there are agencies which will be selling these data to companies. Your HR department will get every month the updated list of the blocked companies.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there will be a list which some agencies will be doing this all homework and selling the list to all the IT companies. Every IT company will have access to this list. So your consulting company, it may be good today, but after 6 months it may go to blacklist. Okay.
How can we check, Praveen? How can we check and we'll take?
That's in the next sessions we will be learning it. As I told you, I have some limitations now. So how it's possible, we'll discuss that later. Right? Yeah. So you're now part of an IBM as a consultant and implementing for the Galaxy Pharmaceuticals, right? So whenever a company gets a new project, that means any new company. See, it's like, say, if you want to start some work, what we do some planning, right? So we are starting in the training to get a job. That means we are planning for it, right? So 2 months of training, 1 month of preparation, uploading resume. So we are planning everything so that we can reach our goal. The same way, once every company receives a project, what they do in SAP, they start with some methodology or guidelines called as ASAP methodology, right? ASAP methodology is accelerated SAP methodology. Accelerated SAP methodology. This is provided by SAP. It has all the guidelines how to implement SAP, what documents you should prepare, in every phase, what activities you need to perform. Everything is underlined so that if you follow this, you can implement the project within the time and within the budget, right? So the ASAP methodology, that's what the first step any company starts. But now in S4HANA, we don't have this ASAP methodology. We don't have ASAP methodology in S4HANA. It's called as Activate methodology. So why SAP has come with Activate methodology? Why can't it continue the same old, very famous ASAP methodology? The reason is ASAP methodology was introduced in somewhere around 90s with the R3 product. And it was developed with the available resources at that time. At that time, technology innovations are available, whatever it is good at that time. See, an SAP project, if it's a domestic, will take a minimum 9 months. And a MNC project will take minimum 18 months. Any SAP project will, this is the rough timelines. It will definitely take more than this to implement a project. And as I told you, with SAP methodology, this is what you can do. And this was in 90s. But in 2018, are your customers ready to wait this much time? After putting this much money and time, are your customers ready to wait in this much time in 2018? Anyone?
No, I think.
No, right? Because no one has patience now. Everyone wants quick results, right? So what happened, and other problem with the ASAP methodology is ASAP methodology works on waterfall model. What is waterfall model? Water once fall down will not go back, right? Waterfall model is once water comes down, it never goes back. That means once customer gives a requirement to you, he cannot change it. That is freezed, right? And the other issue is throughout these 18 months, your customer cannot see the workable product. Throughout the 18 months, Customer can see the product only on paper, just on paper. You are telling customer this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen like this, but everything is in paper. But will this work today? Without a prototype or something to see an executive workable kind, is it possible now? No, customers are not ready for that. So at that time in 80s, this was very good. But now in 2018, it's not possible. That's the reason what SAP has done is it has scrapped its ASAP methodology and now come with the Activate methodology, which works on Agile methodology, Agile Scrum model. That means iterative model. We don't take complete project in as one chunk like this. We break it into pieces. The project is break into the pieces, and there is no connection between one chunk and other chunk. So I can freely make go live each individually. I can make every part go live, and I can show. See, whenever customer buy an S/4HANA license, SAP straight away gives a cloud trial workable product. That means no pen. You see, okay, pen and paper, everything is there, but you can discuss on a model, like a model project. You can open, you can create an order, you can execute everything and show it to the customer and ask him, this is what you want. If customer say yes, okay, deploy it. Let customer use it. That means customer don't need to wait all the 18 months to see his project. From day one itself, customer can see what's happening in the live, and he can also start using the project within 14 weeks. From 14 weeks itself, he can start using the project. Right? So that is what the Activate methodology which SAP has come with, scrapping your ASAP methodology. But as we are discussing and learning ECC, we will go ahead learning the ASAP methodology. But I hope none of you will be working on ASAP methodology because it's a gone case. There are no SAP ECC implementations anymore. Only S/4HANA implementations are going. If it is S/4HANA implementation, it is Activate methodology. But your interviews are on ECC SD, so they might ask questions on ASAP methodology. So let us learn what's exactly we do in the ASAP methodology. So ASAP methodology roadmap. This is the ASAP methodology roadmap. We have 5 phases: project preparation, business blueprinting, realization, final prep, go live, and continuous development. Let me also do one thing. I'll include Activate methodology from this batch because there is no point discussing ASAP methodology because it's a gone case. So I never done this. Okay, let me, from this batch at least, let me discuss Activate methodology so that you will be up to mark with the industry when you go for interviews. Okay, so but whatever the Activate methodology we'll discuss on Monday, right? Once I get confirmations prepaid from Monday, I can discuss Activate methodology. But for today, let us start with the ASAP. This itself will take 3 sessions anyway. In between, I'll also discuss the complete Activate methodology, so you will be at par with industry. Because there is no ECC implementation, so there is no point in discussing ASAP. So this is ASAP roadmap, and the killer question comes in the interview here is, first I told you, right, have you been part of any implementation project? Yes. The next question they ask is, from which phase of ASAP methodology you are part of the project? From which phase of, there are 5 phases, right? So from which phase of ASAP methodology? See, learning SD knowledge is different, as I told you. But these questions are not SD questions, right? These questions are to check your real time. Nothing to do with SD. From which phase you are part of project, what to do with SD? Nothing. It's knowledge. It's not related to knowledge question. This is related to whether you are real time or not. So this is where many people fail in the interview because they know SD, but they don't know this real time thing. Because as a consultant, we never involve in the project preparation phase. But I see in many interviews, people say, I was part from the project preparation phase. Even you are a senior consultant, you will not be part of project preparation phase. Okay, any consultant will be involving only from this phase. If you are SD consultant, you will be from this phase. If you are an associate or junior consultant, you will be involving from this phase. Because junior consultants and associates will not be put into the BBP phase. You will be only from realization phase. Again, in the interview, if they ask a question from which phase of ASAP you are part of the project, you need to sense from which project in your resume they are asking. whether project 1 or project 4. Because in the project 4, you are an SD consultant, but project 1, you are an associate, right? So you need to sense from where they are asking this question, right? So as I told you, you will be never part of, as a consultant, any senior, you will not be part of project preparation phase. Any consultant, you will be part of only from the BBP phase. But let us also discuss what's there in the project preparation phase, because let us discuss in a whole 360 degree, right? So what's there in the project preparation phase? Who will be involved in the project preparation phase? So who will be involved in the project
Praveen?
preparation phase? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
In end-to-end project preparation, project means we have to involve in project preparation also, I think.
No, project preparation is not for consultants, because project preparation phase involves budget,
We have to
monetary
assistant for
things.
the team leader. Yeah,
Even
yeah.
your team lead will not have any role in project preparation. Okay, your team lead also will not have any role in the project preparation, because
It's the
anything in the project.
It's the
Hello.
business sponsors and the project manager who would be evaluating the
Yes.
overall implementation of the project.
Yeah. So to put it in a single line, see, in the project preparation, everything is related to the budget, monetary. As a consultant, you never have a decision to take monetary, right? So who will take that monetary decisions? That is higher level managers, vice presidents, or project managers, IT managers. They will be involving in this and taking the decisions so that they can execute the complete project. As a consultant, nothing to do here, because there is no business user here, right? So who will be involved in the project preparation phase? That is from IBM side. Uh, from the IBM side, it is BDM's delivery head and technical expert and project management. And from the client side, it is vice president IT, vice president finance, project manager, technical head, or some specialists. These people will be involved, and they will be uh, making out like how many servers, what licenses, what VPN, what infrastructure. These are all things they would be deciding. Okay. So let us discuss in clear like what exactly we will be having in the project preparation phase. So in the project preparation phase, what we are going to do during this phase, the team goes through the initial planning and preparation for SAP project. What is that initial planning and preparation? The first thing is goal setting. What is this goal setting? See, the objective of Galaxy Pharma should be the same objective of IBM, right? If Galaxy Pharma want to streamline their supply chain management, but IBM want to streamline the financial management, there's no point, right? So goal and objective should be same. That's what they would be discussing here and setting the goals. Implementation strategy, very important. Clarify the scope of implementation. What do you mean by scope? Anyone? Standard general English. What do you mean by scope?
Nothing but a vision of business.
Right? It can be a vision or it can be a possibility. So when customer, what can be achieved? That's right. What can be achieved? So when customer is spending, say, some 30 crore Indian rupees and almost 16 months of time, what he think? He expects that this 30 crore can buy me everything, right? He thinks I can get anything, but it's not possible, because SAP is one ERP which is introduced in cement industry, food and beverages, pharma, you take steel, you take different companies. So how can one application fit into every organization or every industry with a different raw materials and different sales strategies? It's not possible, right? That means SAP can give a solution to any company or any business only 60 to 70%. SAP can give solution only to 60 to 70%. You have to clarify this to the customer. If not, what your customer will think? Your customer will think that as I'm spending this much time and money, I can get everything. No, it's not possible. Standard SAP can give you a solution only up to 60 to 70%. Rest that 30 to 40% you need to customize or enhance as per your client requirement. Okay, as per client requirement, you have to enhance it. So what is this scope? That means what is possible, what is not possible, how you tell to this customer. That is, I'll tell you a simple example. See, in the legacy traditional business, what customer is doing is, if they are buying X material 100 quantity, okay, in their business, if customer buying 100 quantity, they are offering Y 10 materials free goods and Z also 10 materials free goods. That means if a customer buys X material 100 quantity, along with this 100, he will get Y material 10, Z material 10. That means for total 120 quantity he will be getting. This is without SAP, you are when your customer is doing business. But when your customer comes on to business, SAP, now let's say your customer is on SAP. The same scenario is not possible in SAP. In SAP, you cannot offer multiple free goods to customer. For every X material 100 quantity what customers buy, you can offer either Y10 material or Z10 material, but you cannot offer both. Both is not possible. That means multiple free goods you cannot offer to customer. So this is scope, which is not possible. You should tell to customer. This all where we discuss later. We'll see where we discuss this all things in the requirement gathering. We discuss. So there are lots of things like this which you need to clarify to the customer so he better understands, and later you'll not have any issue, right? So establishing the different committees and teams for smooth running of the project, implementation sequence, that means what should be the first module go live and what should be the first, if you are going with the GTS or CRM or APO, any other new dimension module. So in which sequence you want to go live, everything. And they also finalize the team, the core team that is from the client, and the project team that is consultants, everything they do, and sign off. You should not move ahead without sign off, because if you don't take sign off, it's going to be a never ending project. Keep on changes will keep on coming, right? So these are activities which to be performed in the project preparation phase. So the first activity is buying license. So how many people would be working on, see, in your company there might be 10,000 people. So Galaxy Pharma, there are 10,000 employees, but all the 10,000 employees will not be working on SAP, right? There might be some people who are working in the field, different areas. So first you need to find out how many employees would be using the SAP, because one license is used by only one user. So let's say that out of 10,000 employees, 1,000 employees will be working on SAP. So 1,000 license, you have to buy it. And SAP is not something like which you can buy outright. Okay, I have 100 crores, I'll buy SAP for lifetime outright. No, you cannot do that, because SAP is a subscription based license, like Netflix. What you can do Netflix, if you want, you just subscribe, watch, and you need to renew every year. Likewise, SAP also you need to renew every year, and that annual AMC cost can be somewhere around 22% on the license fees. Your S4 HANA licenses are much more costlier than ECC license. So once they decide on the how many license, then they need to decide on hardware, landscape. So how many servers you are going with? Okay, let's stick to the best practices. If client want to go for 3 servers, then what is the sizing of servers? What is the sizing means? So if you want to buy a phone or if you want to buy a laptop, what you do? First, you decide on your usage, right? For what you are using that particular computer, laptop or phone. So depending on that, you take like whether it should be 4 GB or 6 GB, or what should be the processor, what should be the hard drive, what should be the screen size. We decide on all these things. This is called as sizing, right? In S4 HANA, now we have a sizing called as t-shirt sizing. In S4 HANA, we call that as t-shirt sizing. That starts with the small, extra large, large, like this. So this is the HANA based t-shirt sizing. Extra small means 128 GB RAM and 1 terabyte hard drive with 2 into 10 core. And small is 2 into 10 core but 256 GB RAM. What is large? 8 into 10 core with 1 terabyte of RAM and 4 terabyte of hard disk. In S4 HANA, we call that as t-shirt sizing. So this is what sizing is all about. You need to first decide on sizing, for what purpose you'll be using and what you need. Because a company in Hyderabad which creates 1,000 orders a day don't need the servers or configurations like Amazon, because Amazon creates some 30 orders per second, right? So it depends upon the company, how they use it. Basing upon that, they take the sizing and they buy the servers. The next is infrastructure. See, only this is not enough, right? You need computers, you need connectivity, you need VPNs, and you need temperature also. Because you go to an ATM, why they fix air condition in ATM? Because your systems will hang up if there is if it is so hot there, right? So your server, when I say server, it's not as your computer. A server is almost like a double door fridge size, and it produces lots of heat and noise, right? So they should maintain continuous some temperature level so that they can those servers will not be hang up. So they take care of the temperature level, VPNs level, connectivity, security, not only physical security of a server, the virtual security. So the data should not get hacked or lost, right? No virus attack on the server. So lots of things they take care. So they buy all these things, right? And the last comes is they decide on team. What should be the team of the project? This is a killer question in the interview. And very recently, this question was asked in one interview. Let me just check. Let me show you if it's possible for me. What's his name? I guess they asked this question for him. What is your team size? And you know, it's a very tricky question. Let me show you somewhere I was seeing. Yeah, you see, this was just 10 days back, not even 10 days, 1 week back interview, and they asked the question, what is team size? Both for SD and MM, right? Both for SD and MM, what is the team size, right? So these are the killer questions, nothing to do with SD knowledge. This is real-time thing. Only working consultants will be knowing it. So in the interviews, for sure, they put this question, what is your team size? So in general, there is no standard figure for team size because it depends on varies of the project. In few companies, there are 15 as a team size. In some companies, there are 1200 as a team size. Out of 15, there can be 3 SD consultants. Out of 1200, there can be 400 SD consultants. Yes, there are some projects where they have 400 SD consultants, right? So team size is not standard. Depending on the project, it changes. But coming to the interview, what they ask, what is your team size? Okay, 15. Will they leave it at that point? No. Immediate next question follows. How many is SD? How many is MM? You have seen, right? This is the live example I'm showing you. This is just 1 week back interview. Team size, they asked both SD and MM. So they'll not just leave it at that point. They'll ask you what is SD, what is MM, what is PP size, what is FI size, how many ABAPers you have, how many bases you have. This figure should match 15. It cannot go 13 or it cannot go 17, right? Because you are in the project since last 1 year. If you cannot remember 15 people, right? So this figure should match. So you can say SD3, MM3, PP2, FI3, basis 2, and the ABAP 2. 4, 4, 3, 7, 7, 2, 9, 9, 3, 12, 12 plus 3, 15, yes. Right? So this figure should match whatever you have told. Yeah, any question?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. So
Yeah, go ahead.
when a question like this, the team size is being asked, do we inform only the consultants, or should we also include the managers, the senior managers, as well as the end
Only
users?
consultants. Only consultants who would be working on the project. Only consultants.
Okay.
Okay, because if you sum up all these people, it will go to a big figure actually. Because
Okay.
why they ask this question also, there is a purpose, I'll tell you. Okay. So as I told you, see, there is no standard team size in the industry. It depends upon the project. Sometimes what happens, there might be very conservative companies. They ask both SD and MM. That means one consultant should work in both the areas. Sometimes they include PP also. Only one consultant will be supporting all these things, right? So there is no standard. It depends upon the project, the size, and everything. But you fix for something today itself. In the interviews tomorrow, if they ask you, if your domestic project, tell it is 15, and out of that SD is 3 and MM3, the composition what I have given. And at the same time, if it's an MNC project, you can tell 60, and out of the 10 are SD consultant. You fix for these figures. Okay. So anyone from TechM or Infosys in this batch? Tech Mahindra or Infosys? There are some projects in Tech Mahindra and Infosys. You might be, if you have any friends, you just ask them. There are some projects where there are 800,000 consultants working in single project. Right? So This is from the IBM side. So from the IBM, that is our implementation partner side, we are finalizing the team consultants, right? SD, MM, PP. Likewise, from your client Galaxy Pharma side, they will also finalize team that's called as core users. Core user. There are different users: core user, power user, key user, end user. Different users will be there, right? Core users. Who is a core user? That is, see, you are a consultant. You are ready to implement SAP, but what you should implement? What is client requirement? What exactly client want? Who will tell you that? Who will tell you, I want this and that? That is core user. So who is a core user? The person, if it is coming to the SD module, he can be a sales manager, sales general manager, senior sales manager. It can be anything. He should be, that is, company will figure out him. So he is having a very good understanding of the business and the company requirement and everything. They'll pick up one person. He's a core user. And as a SD consultant, you should be in touch with this core user, and he's the person who will be giving you all the requirements what the company need, so that you need to configure it in the SAP system, right? So once the team is finalized, then they call for a kickoff meeting. Kickoff meeting has an agenda. So this is the timeline of the project implementation, a 18-month timeline. Then go live date is mentioned. You can also see here in the interview, they ask the question, you see, what is your go live date, right? They asked a question, go live date. So they will be discussing on the go live date. As I told you, not even a single question will be going out of the training. Somewhere we will be discussing it. You may recollect or not, but not even a single question will be out of the training. So go live date, they will be discussing. What is go live date? If your project is 18 months, from today to 18 months, whatever it is, that is go live. If it's an MNC project, domestic project, from today, start date is today. Go live date means when the project is going to be live, right? Just plus 9 months or plus 18 months. Scope of the project, as we already discussed, what is possible and what is not possible. In the last, they call for a kickoff meeting. Kickoff meeting has some agenda. That means they introduce about the client. That's where you will be coming to know who is your client, who is the core user and everything. They'll tell you what is the roles and responsibilities, because you have junior consultant, senior consultant, consultants, right? So each consultant has their own role, who is going on site and everything they'll be discussing. They'll share core user list, go live date, start date, and everything. Once the kickoff meeting is done, you should be ready to pack your bags and go for on site. If you are 4+ years consultant, and if you are picked up for the requirement gathering, because all the requirement gathering client interaction will happen on site. Okay, one person from the module will go to on site, sit there and talk to the customer and take the requirement and pass on to the offshore, where you will be preparing the documents, right? So this is all about the project preparation phase. In the next session, we will be discussing about the BBP phase, the real action. We will be discussing in the next session. Yeah, any questions?
Praveen, project preparation, we are mentioning 3 months, okay? And you said we are nothing to do in project preparation. What can I assign for to associate as an associate? What can I do in that phase?
See, in the project preparation phase, no consultant will be involved. You will be involved only in the kickoff meeting. That's it. The project preparation phase will be happening in the company. You will not even be informed about that. When they will be informing you, only when they call for a kickoff meeting. They'll tell you, we are relieving you from this project and a new project we are assigning. That is, they call for a kickoff meeting and then they discuss these all things. So as a consultant, you don't have any role in the project preparation except attending the kickoff meeting. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone?
Hi, Praveen.
Yeah, Prashant.
Praveen, some of the manufacturing companies like Bosch or Tata Motors are recruiting SAP SD consultants.
Yes.
What would be the role of this SD consultant? They are going to implement or SAP?
Yeah. See, in the industry, you will be finding two kinds of jobs. That is, one is hired where you will be working in the consulting companies. That is, let's say IBM, or it can be any implementation partner. There are some companies which will hire and have in-house consultants. They don't outsource project to the consultancies. Okay. So if you say Bosch, that means they have their own internal consultants. That means you will be payroll of Bosch and you are a very closed group of team. Right? So you will be working only in the Bosch. That's it. Only for one client. You are employee of Bosch and they will pay you. Right?
Yes, yes.
So, but I don't recommend you to go any kind of these projects because you'll not get any exposure and you'll not find anything much to do because only one client, only one business process, right? If you are in consulting, you'll get updates and lots of things.
Yeah.
And when you're working in these kind of companies, what happens is, let me tell you one live case of one of my trainee. She's an ABAPer with almost 13 years experience, and her package is 20 lakhs. Now the company asked to put down her papers because paying an ABAPer 20 lakhs is like it's not worth, because whatever a 10, 12 years experience person is doing, even 5, 6 years person also can do the same thing. So they can pay 10 lakhs to the person and they can hire, right? So they asked her to put on papers. Just a moment, excuse me. Oh yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. Okay, sure. So any other question? Anyone?
Hi, Praveen.
Hi, Anaka.
Yeah. So business blueprint is like BRD, business requirement document. Is it something similar to that?
Similar, exactly the same. Here we call the terminology as business blueprint.
Okay. And business analyst is involved in which phase, like in BBP phase or project preparation?
It can be both, because in the project preparation, first we only plan for the logistics.
Okay.
Right? But when it comes to the business blueprinting, we exactly execute on, take all the requirements.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, sir, Pranay.
Yeah, Pranay.
Sir, I just want to know, sir, what are the modes of payment, sir?
You can text me on WhatsApp, Pranay.
Okay.
We can discuss on that. Okay. Anything related to payment, you can either text me or you can call me. We can discuss on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So 3 sessions has been done. The introduction sessions, as I told you, I don't take demos. These are live sessions. 2, 3, 4. It will be continued. So if you are impressed with, or if you feel that this training would be helping you for the career, and you want to continue with this batch and enroll, so you can get in touch with me, either email, call me, or WhatsApp, so I can share the bank details. And once the payment is done, I'll put you into the batch. And from Monday, you will be receiving the link only those who has paid. Okay. So, and the documents and videos also will be shared once your payment is confirmed. Okay. So those who has already paid the fees, please send me a test email. I'll create a group and I'll share you the documents tomorrow itself and these 3 videos. And whoever want to continue, you can pay the fees and you can continue. From Monday, you will receive the link some 10 minutes before or half an hour before the session. So 8 o'clock we are starting, right, in the evening. By 7:45 or 7:50, you will receive the link. 10-15 minutes before the class, you will receive the link. Okay. So anything related to the payment and confirmation you want to continue in this batch, you can call me or text me on the WhatsApp.
Hi, Praveen.
Hello, Praveen.
Yeah, Arvind.
Yeah, but when regularly practice purpose, we have to load SAP in our system or regular practice purpose. That
you have to.
And that should be
So
loaded.
for that, no, I see. You can take online access. You can take install in your system, but depends upon your system configuration. So I'll give a contact number. You can get in touch with that person, so he can guide you better whether your system will support or not.
Fine. Then give me that number so that.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Praveen?
Yeah.
Final question. What's the scope of the SAP? Is there any other competitors? Is there for my business? Why I can choose this
particular module, it is a very, very expensive tool, I think.
See,
Any
as of date, there is no that great competitor for SAP. Okay. So if you are
Okay.
choosing SAP, that means any company is choosing SAP, they will remain in SAP. They cannot come out of SAP.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right now, competitors is very low in cost, so they
Very
are
less.
providing with very less amount, and many businesses are going to like cloud or like Oracle
That is what
or
all about the S4 HANA, because that is what all about the S4 HANA. SAP has come up with cloud, different industry solutions and different offerings, because it need to compete with competitors.
Mhm. What is
Right?
the
SAP.
scope for the SAP? It is a long-term project is going on. It's a 2050, I
See,
think.
simple. I'll tell you,
Guys.
we all will retire in SAP. Don't worry about the career in SAP. We all will retire in SAP. That long-term SAP is.
Thank you.
Because its investments and its R&D is very huge. No competitor even is close to SAP.
Okay. Some guys
Okay.
are raising the points whichever the market is low, SAP is down.
Don't
So
worry.
there is a predefined rate.
No,
That's
see,
why I'm asking this
SAP
question.
is also not small company, right? It also understands business. It knows market. So it will come up with the same offerings what its competitors are also doing. So as earlier, SAP was not available on mobile, but now SAP is available on mobile. It's available on cloud, right? So it's because depending upon the client requirement and as business is evolving, SAP also will evolve.
Thank you, Praveen.
Right? Yeah. So any other questions? Anyone?
Sir, this is Sardul here.
Yeah, Shardul.
Hello.
Shardul,
Sir,
go ahead.
I sent you mail.
I've seen your
Sir, the
mail,
mail I had
Shardul.
sent you today. Okay.
Yes, I received it and I'll reply to that.
At least, sir, those videos that I missed for HANA. Actually, I wanted
Sure.
to join the class that is tomorrow there in morning.
Okay. Sure.
So I can just go through that. So that would be easy.
Sure, Shardul. I'll reply to your email.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, then. Yeah.
Sir, good night.
Good night. So see you all, everyone, on Monday. So if you are interested to continue the same batch, so you can update me so that I can send you the link and add you to the batch. So anything related to the payment and these things, you can text me or WhatsApp me or you can call me. Right. So next session
Praveen,
on 8.
my friend.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello, sir, Mr. Praveen.
Praveen, my friend.
Go
Hello.
ahead. I could not see your name. I see it's only as India.
Sir, myself Shiva.
Shiva, go ahead, Shiva.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening, Shiva.
Sir, Vishweshwara suggested this class. Actually,
Okay.
sir, I don't know SAP.
Okay. You
I know
can call me on
little.
mobile, Shiva. We can discuss on that. I can guide you.
Okay. In this number, sir, 9154.
Yes. The same number you can call me. I can guide you on that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Praveen. First class he missed it. First and second class he missed. Can you share that first and second class? After that confirmation, he will be joined.
Yes. Once the payment is done, I'll share you the videos and documents.
But he missed the first and second class. I think he don't know about the SAP yet.
Okay, I can share that.
This is the first class, sir. Actually.
Do one thing. You text me. You send me your test
Sure,
email.
definitely.
I'll send you the videos.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Okay, sir. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
So see you all, everyone, and catch up on Monday 8 p.m. So if you're interested, let me know. I can put you to the batch. See you all and good night, everyone. Happy weekend. Bye-bye.
Good night.